Welcome to the Dragon's Den. My name is Leo Drake, and thank you for spending part of your day with me. Please consider subscribing as it is free and shows you'll be back. If you enjoy the video, click the like button and ring the notification bell to be notified when I post a new video. In this video, we are ranking films in the Terminator franchise. I will be discussing the movies during the video, so consider this your one and only spoiler warning. There are 6 movies in this list, so let's get to it. The Terminator franchise has a pretty basic storyline. Skynet, an AI system, takes control shortly after being switched on. It fires nuclear missiles, resulting in Judgment Day, where most of the human race is killed. The survivors form a resistance against the machines, led by John Connor. Number 6 is Terminator Genisys from 2015. In this movie, Jason Clarke plays John Connor, Jai Courtney plays Kyle Reese, and Emilia Clarke plays Sarah Connor. In the future, John Connor leads the resistance to a victory over Skynet, but they are too late to stop someone going back to kill Sarah Connor. John sends Kyle Reese back like in the first movie, but just as he is leaving, Matt Smith grabs John Connor. Back in LA in 1984, an aged Arnie fights a bad CGI version of himself that looks like it's made out of clay. Kyle Reese is met by the T-1000 and saved by Sarah Connor.
Come with me if you want to live!
The timeline has fractured, changing events in 1984. Arnie has been protecting Sarah since she was a kid, and they believe if the past can change, so can the future. Which means that they can stop Judgment Day from happening. I swear I've seen this before. Arnie and Sarah plan to travel to 1997, but Kyle Reese has a memory from an alternative timeline, and they go to 2017 instead. In San Francisco, they are arrested until John Connor arrives to help them escape. Arnie shoots John, and that's right, John Connor is a bad guy in this film. At this point, the movie feels like it stops trying to explain a pretty ridiculous script and just goes full action movie with chase scenes in a school bus and a helicopter.
I'll be back.
Arnie sacrifices himself to kill John Connor, which lacks emotion because how many times has Arnie died in these movies? Sarah and Kyle blow up Genisys, which is the same as Skynet. This movie feels like a remake of a remake of a remake, with no advancement of the overall storyline and lots of unanswered questions.
Bite me.
That is a very immature response.
Number 5 is Terminator Dark Fate from 2019. Linda Hamilton is back. In this version, the Terminator kills John as a teenager, and there's nothing Sarah Connor can do to stop him. 22 years later, in Mexico, a new Terminator goes after Danny, who is protected by Grace, an augmented human from the future. Danny's brother and father are killed before Linda Hamilton's Sarah Connor attacks the Terminator on a bridge.
I'll be back.
The Terminator Rev 9 was sent back by Legion, an AI almost exactly the same as Skynet. Sarah, Grace and Danny try to cross the border but get caught by the authorities, who are tipped off by Rev 9. The Terminator attacks them while they are detained by border security before they escape on a helicopter. They find Sarah Connor's secret informant, who turns out to be Arnie, who killed John Connor and has now grown a conscience.
I won't be back.
Grace reveals Danny led a rebellion against Legion and is essentially John Connor. Rev 9 seeks to terminate Danny, while Grace, Sarah and Arnie seek to protect her. Danny takes Grace's power source to defeat Rev 9, and Arnie sacrifices himself to make sure the Terminator does not survive. This movie is only slightly better than Genisys. The effects are better, and Linda Hamilton is a good addition to the cast. However, it does fall into a lot of the same tropes and pitfalls of other movies in this franchise. Number 4 is Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines from 2003. Judgment Day has been stopped and John Connor is living off the grid. A new female Terminator TX returns to kill John Connor's lieutenants, including Kate Brewster, who will marry John in the future. The world is suffering from a super virus, and we get a different version of Arnie, who helps to rescue them.
Drop dead, you asshole!
I'm unable to comply.
In this version, Sarah Connor died of leukemia. Kate's father is in the military and pondering the use of Skynet to fight the super virus.
No, I am not shitting you.
John, Kate, and Arnie seek to shut down Skynet before it launches the nuclear missiles. The TX fights Arnie and reprograms him to attack John, but the new command goes against his mission objective and he shuts himself down. Skynet is activated. Kate and John fly to Crystal Peak, where they believe Skynet is housed, but in truth it is a bunker for them to survive Judgment Day. The TX attacks, but is stopped by Arnie, who blows himself and the TX up.
You are terminated.
This movie has some decent action, a few callbacks to the previous movies, but really struggles to add anything significant to the story or the franchise. At number 3 is Terminator Salvation from 2009. Sam Worthington plays Marcus, a criminal who gives his body to science and wakes up to discover Judgment Day has happened.
Come with me if you want to live.
Christian Bale is John Connor in the year 2018, while Kate Connor has been recast as Bryce Dallas Howard, who is pregnant with John's child. Skynet is trying to kill Kyle Reese so he cannot be sent back to save Sarah Connor and be the father of John Connor. Marcus helps Kyle survive from the machines until a pilot called Blair reinforces them. They all return to HQ, but after Marcus steps on a landmine, it is revealed he is part machine. The hierarchy plan to destroy Skynet despite hostages being kept in the vicinity. John Connor does not trust Marcus because he is a machine, but Kyle has been captured and is one of the people that will get caught up in the destruction of Skynet. Blair helps Marcus escape, which feels like a bit of a leap of faith since they really only just met. But after John Connor's aircraft goes down, Marcus saves him from the machines. Marcus, as a machine, is able to access the base and Skynet to open a path for the Resistance to rescue Kyle Reese and the other prisoners. But Skynet used Marcus as an infiltration unit to discover where the Resistance HQ was so it can destroy them. We get a bad CGI Arnie who fights John Connor and Marcus as they seek to flee with Kyle Reese. John Connor is stabbed in the chest and only survives when Marcus gives him his heart. This movie takes place in the future after Judgment Day, which makes it different from most other films in this franchise. It has good action, solid acting, and an intriguing story up until the end. Because for me, this movie is a fun 2-hour action film. At the end, the Resistance blow up a base, only for us to discover that it is one of many Skynet centres, and we have not really progressed the story at all. This franchise has a phrase, "There is no fate but what we make." However, I think more accurately, it should be, "There is no fate but what we make up." Number 2 is The Terminator from 1984, directed by James Cameron. We start in LA in 2029 in a futuristic dystopia ruled by machines. The machines rose from the ashes of the nuclear fire. Their war to exterminate mankind has raged for decades, but the final battle would not be fought in the future. It would be fought here, in our present, tonight. In LA in 1984, the Terminator and Kyle arrive searching for Sarah Connor. The Terminator finally tracks Sarah down in a club, but she is rescued by Kyle Reese.
With me if you want to live.
Kyle explains to Sarah she is a target because her unborn son helps humanity fight back against the machines in the future. Arnie attacks the police station. Kyle Reese helps Sarah escape before the two share an intimate night. Reese dies trying to stop the Terminator before Sarah crushes the machine in a hydraulic system. Arnie makes a great villain, but it is unsurprising that when he returns, it is as a hero. Number 1 is Terminator 2 Judgment Day from 1991, directed by James Cameron. We start in LA in the year 2029, where we learn that Skynet sent 2 Terminators through time, one targeting Sarah Connor before John was born, and the other targeting John as a 13-year-old child. Sarah Connor is in a psychiatric hospital, while John is living with foster parents. An upgraded Terminator T-1000 is looking for him, and Arnie's T-101 seeks to protect him. When John discovers his mum was telling the truth all this time, he goes back for her. Sarah was in the process of escaping and wants to kill Arnie, but John explains he is there to help.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Miles Dyson creates Cyberdyne. Sarah plans to kill him before he creates Skynet, but she is unable to murder him in cold blood. They explain the consequences of the future of Miles's work, and he agrees to destroy all records. This requires them to go into the Cyberdyne lab, which leads to a firefight.
Stay here. I'll be back.
Miles is killed while Sarah is shot, as the T-1000 is extremely hard to kill as he is made from liquid metal, but finally he falls into a furnace where he is unable to reform. Skynet is destroyed and Judgment Day stopped.
I need a vacation.
Terminator 2 Judgment Day is a very well-made movie. It gives time to each scene, allowing you to spend time with the characters and care about what happens to them. Should they have stopped making Terminator movies after this? This list tells us yes.
I'm back.
Thank you for watching. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my list in the comments down below, and what you would like me to rank next. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, give it a like and share it. I'm looking to post a new video every Monday, so be sure to come back for that and click the link on screen to watch another of my videos. Until next time, hoorah!